Welcome to Storytime with Tallulah. Today's reading comes from r/relationships. Our first story is titled, My Girlfriend Constantly Makes Me Feel Bad About Myself. I'm a 21-year-old male and she's a 30-year-old female. I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years, and we've been living with each other for almost half of our relationship. Wait a second, that means you were 17 and she was 26. That's not right. She's helped me out a lot, and I was not really into a great place when we met. But she sort of lifted me up and made me much happier than I have ever really been. Despite our age difference, we got along well right when we met, and I never really felt out of place around her until a few months ago. Since about November, she has been putting me down, and I just feel bad about myself sometimes. She's always teased me, but I feel like it has gotten me. She makes little jabs about how I did not finish high school, I dropped out in 11th grade, and she talks about how she is the smart one in our relationship. I admit she is smarter than I am. She has a good job and all, but it sometimes feels like she looks down on me for my own lack of capability. She even makes these kind of comments in front of her friends. I don't even get along with her friends, and I've never felt that they've liked me at all. They've said things about me. During the quarantine, all of this has gotten worse. She hasn't said anything kind to me at all. She makes fun of me, and she gives me no slack at all with her expectations of me. I don't mind doing most of the housework. I lost my restaurant job, and she works a lot, and even before the virus, she was the one who took care of all the house finances. I still wish she would show some sort of appreciation. If I mess up one thing or forget anything, she just get angry. One compliment on a meal would be nice, and I feel stupid for expecting that because I know I should appreciate all she does without me expecting praise from her. But I feel worthless lately. I like cooking for her and all that, but she just acts pissy if things are not what she expected. She makes me so happy is the thing. I love her, and spending time with her is the best time I've had. But I don't think she feels the same for me anymore. I've tried to bring this all up with her, and she just tells me I'm being silly or whatever, or she gets annoyed and tells me to trust that she loves me. Sometimes I feel like I'm not allowed to have my own thing. Like I cannot explore my hobbies or interests. I like music, but she put me down about it. She doesn't say anything mean, but she tells me that it's not worth it, or she just smiles and rolls her eyes. She has her own things with friends out of work, but it's like I can't do a single thing if she doesn't think it is worth our time. I just feel dumb all the time, and I used to feel good about myself when we first met, but I don't know anything, and I can't do anything myself. I think she was able to live a lot of life before you were able to even start yours, and the age difference definitely is probably a big thing. You know, she's probably at a point in her life where, you know, she feels like, you know, it's just different. I don't know. I don't think that's you're so much younger. Like, you're gonna feel very different. There's very different experiences in lives that have occurred at that point. And I don't know, it just sounds like she's acting like a mother to you. And it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's not, you love her and you're happy, but I don't know. Sometimes staying in a toxic relationship because you feel like you have to, because you love this person and like this is the only person you've been with, it's okay to move on if it's not working out, you know? And like, you gotta have chemistry for long term. Just, you gotta have it. Our next story is titled, Update. My girlfriend constantly makes me feel bad about myself. Okay, well, let's see what happened. Thanks to the people who responded to my post, I can safely say that you were all right, and I apologize for being so defensive of my girlfriend, now ex, and for being hard-headed in my replies to you all. There you go. I looked into another subreddit for people in relationships with narcissists, and the people there echoed what you told me. Our relationship was abusive from the start. It has been hard to wrap my head around that because I definitely wanted her when I met her, but I was 17. I can accept that what she did was inappropriate. She got me away from my abusive family, but that does not change that she has treated me terribly and just been manipulative. I still was not going to for sure leave her. I wanted to talk to her about it. I brought my feelings up with her and she lost it on me. I've never really seen her so angry. She yelled at me for reaching out to strangers online for advice about our relationship. She said that it was a betrayal. She insulted me a bunch, much more than she usually does. I was told that if I left that I wouldn't make it. She said that no woman would be satisfied with me in bed and that I've been a disappointment sexually since we met when I was 17, and that I brought nothing worthwhile physically. This was seriously strange to me. As mean as she could be sometimes, she has never just freaked out and screamed like this. I told her that I didn't want to leave her, but that I just wanted to be able to do things that I enjoyed and not be talked to like I was stupid. She of course told me that I was stupid and that other people would just lie to me. This is when I did something that I'm actually proud of myself for. I called the only friend I have nearby and I asked if I could stay the night there. I was not going to let her beat me down like that. This friend has never been too fond of her because he says she always treated me badly. I called her the next day and she jumped between begging me to come back and insulting me. She threatened to tell people how badly I've treated her. I've never yelled at her. I've never gotten aggressive with her. So she is just going to lie to people now? My friend then offered to let me stay with him for a while until I can get a bit secure. I've been back to her place only once to get most of my things, and again she went back and forth from being overly sweet, insulting me, and outright threatening me before slapping me when I told her that she was being crazy. I have a few more things at her place, but I really don't want to see her again, so I'm considering just calling that a loss. At least I'm away from her. I say all of that and still miss her. Dumb. Yeah, I feel like I lost what could have been good years by being with her, but I know that she also helped me out a lot. I don't know how to feel, but I know I'm better away from her. Thanks again for your encouragement and for making me see what she was doing to me. I'm glad you're out of that relationship. It sounded extremely toxic and yeah, it doesn't sound like a good one. I mean, you both will move on. I know it's hard to break up, probably sucks in the beginning, especially when you feel like you were with someone and you've invested that much time into them. But, you know, that abusiveness isn't going to change. It's going to be like that forever. She's always going to belittle you and feel that she's above you. And I think she likes to control. She likes having control over you and making you feel like you're dependent of her. That gives her some sort of satisfaction. But yeah, you know, then I think it's healthier and you'll get over it. But good for you. I'm glad that you're able to start recovering from that. Our next story is titled, My Girlfriend Told Someone I'm Stupid and I Didn't Graduate High School. I'm a 20-year-old male. She's a 23-year-old female. I never graduated high school. I have my GED, but I dropped out of school in the second half of my senior year. It's something I'm really self-conscious about. My girlfriend knows this. I've been with my girlfriend for 6 months. Never has she made me feel bad about the high school situation or has ever said anything to make me feel dumb. She said a lot to make me feel really good about myself when I have expressed how I feel about it to her in the past. Which is why this really hurt me because I never expected to hear something like this from her. I was in bed yesterday, half napping. I was awake, but I was still laying in bed as if I was asleep. My girlfriend was on the phone with someone. I'm not sure if it was her mom or her sister, but it was one of them. She was talking about me by name. I could only hear snippets, so I'm not sure what all was said, but I did hear he's kind of stupid and he never graduated high school. As she was using my name a lot, so I know she was talking about me. I felt like a punch. And I've felt really bad and hurt all day. I didn't tell her I hurt her because I don't know if I even should or what to say if I do ask. And every time I've seen her today or talked to her, I've been wondering what she really thinks of me. I just don't know what to do. Wow, that sucks. That's wow. I would bring it up. Be like, hey, I was like half awake and I heard you talking on the phone about how you think I'm stupid. Like, what's that about? I would bring it up if you heard it. You weren't like eavesdropping. She was talking around you, whatever. That's not cool. I don't know. That's a trust thing for me. Our next story is titled, Husband, 23-year-old male, has been paying for girls' OnlyFans. Uh-oh. My husband, a 23-year-old male, and I, a 22-year-old female, have been married for 2 years. Recently, I found out he was paying for OnlyFans through his bank account. We have a joint account and I check our account often because I like to track our expenses. When I confronted him about it, he told me his friend had asked him if he could use his card because he couldn't use his own personal one. I never in a million years thought my husband would pay for such a thing, so I stupidly believed him. Fast forward a month later and I see the same payments. Once again, I confronted him and yet again he said it's his friend's account, so I told him to text his friend and ask him to send him the money that was charged. Turns out he was lying about letting his friend use his card. I end up finding the entire truth by myself because I couldn't believe anything he said. Turns out he had been paying for girls' nudes, and not only that he personally knows 2 of those girls, and I know one of the 2, he spent $50 paying different girls for subscriptions. Oh my gosh, let's see. Edit. I would like to add that myself am not huge on watching adult films. I probably haven't watched much or at all since we got married. I just didn't feel the need to, so I don't know much about how it works. Some of you were nice enough to educate me that it's better for him to pay than to watch free stolen content, and I would like to say I 100% agree. I hadn't seen it that way, but I get what you guys mean, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Not for this relationship, because he obviously is a liar, but maybe for the next, I will be willing to sit down and talk to whomever I'm with about adult film expenses. I'm still not okay with the lying and paying for people he personally knows, which is why I will not be going back to him. Again, thank you for the clarification. Yeah, that's like paying for, I don't know. I don't agree with the whole paying argument. No. If you just, no, paying for only, no, that's not acceptable. I don't think that's acceptable at all. It's just not. It just isn't. You should, especially if you know the people. That's cheating. That's cheating. Having a personal connection, even as a fan with someone, is just, you're doing more than just like meeting your needs or whatever you want to call it. It's going beyond that. There's like an emotional connection that's occurring. There's a fantasy that's being developed between you and another person. And especially if you know them, it's like, that's cheating. That's not okay. Like, who defends that? Our next story is titled, My husband, a 34-year-old male, wants to quit his job without having something lined up. I, a 28-year-old female, am being supportive, but internally am very worried. I'm not really sure if this is the right place for this, but here it goes. My 28-year-old female husband, 34-year-old male, has been working for the same company for over a decade. It's actually where we met. We've been together 5 years, married for 1. He makes good money, but has hated his job as long as I've known him. Having also worked there, I can confirm it is a terrible company to work for. Super toxic leadership, extremely stressful job, etc. I remember walking in the office doors every morning feeling sick to my stomach. Multiple coworkers developed drug and/or alcohol addictions and suffered mental breakdowns as a direct result of working there. I left the company in February for a much better job with a 27% pay increase, and my husband has just gotten more and more miserable since then. He struggled with anxiety and depression in the past, and working there has really caused his mental health to deteriorate over the last year or so. My sweet, goofy husband has slowly become silent and moody 90% of the time, primarily due to the stress of the job. I pushed him to leave for a long time as well as urged him to start seeing a therapist, but he's dragged his feet on both. Yesterday, he told me he finally plans to issue his 2 weeks notice today, without having something lined up, because he physically just can't take it anymore. I told him I understood completely, I support him, and that this could be a great opportunity for him to rebuild his mental health. I reassured him that we have plenty in savings, over a year's salary, and my paycheck just covers all of our bills, so we can make it work until he finds something else. But honestly, I'm scared. I've wanted him to quit for so long, but this is just such terrible timing with the economy on the verge of collapse and the country in turmoil. So many people are out of work right now, and we're beyond lucky that we kept our jobs. Is it a slap in the face to them for him to leave of his own volition? What if I lose my job and we can't pay our mortgage? It'll be so much harder for him to find a new job when everyone else is looking too. But it hurts me every day to see my husband breaking down and growing more and more depressed, and I truly think he won't be able to get better while he's working this job. Nobody but me really knows how bad his mental state has gotten. I know communication is key, but this time I'm afraid opening up about my fears too much will only compound his stress and make him stay at this job that is basically rotting him from the inside out. I want to do whatever I can to help him, but it's scary. The idea of having only one income right now, I guess I'm hoping for some assurance that supporting him here is the right thing to do. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I should urge him to stick it out. I just really don't know and could use some guidance. I mean, I think it's totally fine. Let him quit. You have a nest egg. You've saved up. You're still working, and he's obviously miserable. You've supported him leaving. He's worked there for a long time. You know that he hasn't worked there, and ever since you left, he's gotten worse. Meaning that the only thing that was getting him through the job before, without being as bad as he is now, is at least knowing he gets to go to work with you. That made him happy. So he really cares about you. But now that you're gone, it's even more miserable that he's like away from you now for all that time and is in a place that he hates. I think he should quit. I think you guys will get by just fine, even if you have to sacrifice for a little bit. But I think it's better for him to quit, even if he doesn't find a job for a while. Because it sounds like you guys were responsible. You saved up a bunch of money. You're still working. I think it's fine. You've also encouraged it too. So it would be kind of weird to come back and be like, oh, I'm scared. It's normal to be scared because there's the unknown factor. You're worried. Like, that's normal. It's okay to be nervous and worried. But I think you should do it together. But don't do it in a way where it guilts him. You know, like let him quit the job, get through, you know, however much time he needs to recoup, and then, you know, start looking for work. And then I think it'll be fine. Honestly, I really do. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you enjoy these types of videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell for notifications. If you'd like to join the Discord, we have an awesome community that we've created. The link for that's in the description below, along with all of my other social media links if you'd like to follow me on different places of the internet as well. Hope you're staying safe out there in these crazy times. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.